What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back breaking down the top players at each position in the NFL's Week 3 according to Awesemo's NFL rankings. We're consolidating the rankings videos into one moving forward in more of a traditional four-corner style, so please like this video to show a little support, and also to celebrate this new video style, doing a little giveaway here. So right now, please like the video and comment a position player, a running back, wide receiver, or tight end you think is going to get 2 touchdowns in Week 3. If you're correct, you'll be entered to win a free month of Awesemo Plus, so like the video and comment your 2 TD boy down below. As always, Awesemo's rankings are derived from a mix of points and value, so that is the grades you're going to see moving forward. But let's get it started right now with the QBs of Week 3. And the top option is going to be Dak Prescott in a spot versus Miami, in which there are 34.5 implied points for Dallas. Dak gets an A in points and an A in value on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fantasy Draft, and an A in points and a B in value on Yahoo. Prescott is Awesemo's top QB in points and value with a stellar 153.3 QB rating in a clean pocket and a 156.3 QB rating on deep throws, going against the Miami team, who allows 11.7 yards per pass with a 30 coverage grade from PFF. Jameis Winston versus the New York Giants also grades out well according to Awesemo's rankings with 27.3 implied points for Tampa Bay. Jameis gets an A in points and an A in value on DraftKings, FanDuel, Fantasy Draft, and Yahoo. Jameis can be infuriating with his inaccuracy and brain farts, as well as a poor 4.9% INT rate and 9% sack rate, but the Giants' pass D is barely there, allowing 10.4 yards per pass and a league worst 29.4 coverage grade from PFF. And for our dart toss play in Awesemo's NFL rankings, I'm going to Kyle Allen in a matchup with Arizona, in which there are 24.5 implied points for Carolina. Allen looked passable in Week 17 last year versus New Orleans, and now he faces an Arizona team playing at an extremely fast pace while allowing opponents to throw 42 times per game against their poor 56 rated coverage defense. And now into some of the top running back plays for Week 3, and number 1 is going to be Christian McCaffrey in that matchup versus Arizona, in which there are again 24.5 implied points for Carolina. McCaffrey gets an A in points and a B in value on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fantasy Draft, and an A in points and a D in value on Yahoo. Despite his struggles versus Tampa Bay, McCaffrey has 23.5 touches per game, including 8.5 targets per, and with Allen likely to take some low-risk throws filling in for Cam Newton, McCaffrey could thrive at pace versus an Arizona defense that allows a 55% DVOA boost to pass-catching running backs. Ezekiel Elliott versus Miami also grades out well with a 34.5 implied points for Dallas. Zeke gets an A in points and a B in value on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fantasy Draft, and an A in points and a C in value on Yahoo. Zeke was back up to 25 touches in Week 2 after being eased in during Week 1, and he could be a safer play than Dak with a high likelihood of clock-killing runs versus an impotent Miami offense who seems primed to be blown out. And a low-owned running back who interests me again in Week 3 is Dalvin Cook in a matchup versus Oakland, in which there are 26 implied points for Minnesota. Cook projects for under 10% ownership with his price up despite his 23 touches per game and elite PFF grades. So while Oakland has allowed just 2.8 yards per rush in 2019, he could find success once again as an under-owned play. And now onto Awesemo's top-ranked wide receivers for Week 3, and Davante Adams in a matchup with Denver is one of those guys with 25.3 implied points for Green Bay. Adams gets an A in points and an A in value on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fantasy Draft, as well as an A in points and a B in value on Yahoo. Adams' targets are down to 8.5 per game with less routes per game as well, but he maintains a 27% target share going against the Denver defense, who's allowed a 41.2% DVOA boost to wide receiver ones. Amari Cooper versus Miami also grades out really well with that same 34.5 implied points for Dallas. Cooper gets an A in points and an A in value on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fantasy Draft, while he gets an A in points and a B in value on Yahoo. With Michael Gallup out, Cooper could see an increase on his 7 targets per game with additional deep targets and a high potential of breaking big plays given the 71% DVOA boost that Miami's offered to wide receiver ones. And a low-owned bounce back guy that I personally like this week is John Brown in a match with Cincinnati, in which there are 25 implied points for Buffalo. Brown fell just short as chalk last week with one errant deep throw and a 50-yard bomb from Josh Allen impeding him, despite 7 catches for 72 yards. And now he gets a Cincinnati team who is gashed by deep speed and bombs in Week 2 with a 31 coverage grade from PFF. And now onto our last group, the tight ends and defenses, and Zach Ertz going against Detroit is going to be a top option with 26.8 implied points for Philly. Ertz gets an A in points and an A in value on DraftKings and Fantasy Draft, while he's an A in points and a B in value on FanDuel and Yahoo. Ertz saw 16 Week 2 targets, and with no Deshaun Jackson and possibly no Alshon Jeffrey, the consolidated volume should benefit Ertz with reasonable prices industry-wide. And for a cheaper tight end play, I'd like to go to Mark Andrews in a spot versus Kansas City, in which there are 24 implied points for Baltimore. Andrews' routes run could stand to be higher than his 23.5 per game, but his 8.5 targets per game, which include 1.5 deep targets per, is a nice spot as Lamar's favorite target in a projected high-scoring game. And now onto the defenses, and New England's defense versus the Jets look particularly good with the 10.5 implied points against for New England. New England's defense has been unreal with 246 yards per game allowed and a 28% pass deflection rate, as well as an 8.5% sack rate. Now they get third-string QB Luke Falk, who's outgunned in his first start. And a pay-down value defensive option could be Pittsburgh in a matchup with San Francisco, in which there are 24.8 implied points against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is cheap and projects as a decent value, so even though they looked terrible in 2019, if they pressure Garoppolo with his 3.8% INT rate, things could break their way. So there you have it. There are the top plays and some of the underappreciated guys in Week 3. So right now, please like this video. And again, if you want to win that free month of Awesemo Awesemo Plus, like the video and comment your 2-touchdown player down below. Again, a wide receiver, running back, or tight end, not a quarterback, because that's a little too easy to get there. But if you get a guy who gets 2 touchdowns, go ahead and comment it down below for your chance to win that free month of Awesemo Plus. And if you don't want to get entrapped by the double dong tight end game, you can also use this promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE for half off your first month of Awesemo Plus. Get all the ownership projections and player projections. We also have packages right now at awesemo.com/join that are as low as $3.95 a week, $3.95. So go check out all the options for you at awesemo.com/join. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'm here with you guys all the time, putting out so much content, including these 2 videos today. So go check out my showdown breakdown video on the Jaguars-Titans game tonight and all the other content I'm putting out at Chris Spags. Also, if you want all my thoughts on all the top DFS plays industry-wide, going game by game, make sure to check out my column to Slanted Go down in the description. And otherwise, I'll be back with you guys a bunch all weekend. So subscribe to that notification bell because there's a ton of shows coming out for me. And I'll see you guys again soon. So good luck.